All right. So I guess what have you found to be the most reliable, consistent, and cost-effective ways to acquire clients? What has been that approach?
Yeah, so my first $1 million, I did basically pure revenue, pure referral, people just referring me out, and warm referrals. When I started making content immediately, I started doing YouTube stuff day one. Like first video was published probably April 2nd, 2018. How to make a brand store, very very quickly early on, and that was a key to my success. So I got to $10 million by making content, and 10 million ARR. So that's basically money we're grossing every year. And that was through content generation, almost entirely inbound. Then about January of 2021, so not even quite 2 years yet, about 20 months ago, I then made an outbound sales team. The first person I hired for outbound sales is still with me today. And we built an entire team from scratch. And it's been fantastic. And that took me from 10 million ARR to 20 million grossing per year. And that's where we are today. Now, what's going to get me from 20 million to 50 though is going to be pay-per-click advertising. And this is, kind of the quad situation that you see most companies have to choose from, right? You got to choose your own adventure, where you're going to spend your money. We have a nice case study where we walk through this journey. I'm going to share my screen and just kind of glance at it real briefly here. But there's a really cool chart. Let's see. That's the old one. We need to get the updated one live. We may not have the updated one live, but basically right here, warm outreach, that's the one. That's what got me to 1 million. Okay, we got the text out to the side here. That's good. And then content got me to 10, cold outreach got me to 20, and paid ads is going to get me to 50. And so this quad right here is your choice. Choose your own adventure. Which one are you going to do? As you go through the quad, warm outreach is the cheapest. It's the easiest and the cheapest, but it doesn't scale. Content is a little bit harder, but still you're not paying necessarily. Maybe you got an editor or something. Maybe you got a graphic artist, whatnot. But the costs are pretty minimal. You can do all the work yourself. Cold outreach, this is where the cost starts to really hit you, because now you're paying salaries and you have extra bodies potentially, and you got softwares you got to use. Maybe you got an outbound email automation drip campaign, stuff like that. And then you get to run paid ads. This is where it's super, super expensive. Your margin drops hardcore right here. There are agencies out there that skip step 1 through 3 and go straight for run paid ads. And these agencies, if successful, are behind the scenes. Nobody knows they even exist, right? Because they're like, oh, you go Google Amazon agency and they're paying $8-9 a click,
Right.
The ones that are most known are the content ones. But if you're an agency and all you do is cold outreach, almost none of the network knows who you are, right? So what's interesting is that these blue quads right here, cold outreach and run paid ads, you're one-to-one with strangers, and so you're behind the scenes. Competitors may not even know. So I guarantee you, there's at least 3, 5, maybe even 10 sleeper agencies out there that don't do content and don't do anything warm, and they're straight up just contacting strangers and probably crushing it behind the scenes. But it's way harder to do that. And so if you're a new agency, you should start in the red sections. Start with people go to warm outreach with content, and work your way through the quad system.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I would assume with running paid ads too, that cost and that expense to do so is going to be passed on to whatever future clients you acquire. So,
or your margin takes a hit.
right.
So I know a lot of agencies that have a margin anywhere from 5, 10, maybe even they're even negative sometimes. And I'm like, that's insane. That's crazy. I mean, I don't. You guys are like in the business just to pay people to work. I mean, that's nuts. I wouldn't do that. Really awesome agencies have a margin closer to 50%. But there's a lot of good agencies that are in the 20s to 30s that are doing just fine. There's nothing wrong with that at scale. But anything south of 15%, they have one of two problems. Either A, they're paying their people too much, or B, they don't have enough clients. So every agency ever can be summarized down to that problem. Not enough clients or too many employees or not enough. Paying my employees too much or paying them, or not enough clients to substantial. Any way you rephrase that problem, that conundrum, it's the same equation,
Right.
right?